Hello, I'm Julie Harris and welcome to my YouTube channel. Hi, welcome to my channel. I'm gonna be making this year this version of the swimsuit. Is the version A and D, and it's gonna be all in this precious green fabric that I got at Hobby Lobby. So I'm gonna begin with the easiest part, that is the bottoms, and I have in here the front of the pants, and I have the lining. So I'm gonna turn, this is the good side or the right side of the fabric, and the inside of the fabric is more dull than the shining side of the fabric. And I think people can choose whatever side they like because it is very similar. Some people maybe want a shiny swimsuit, maybe want the dull side. It doesn't matter. I don't think you have a wrong or a right one. But anyway, I'm gonna use mine with the shiny side. I think that's what I like most. I'm gonna turn it around so I can put the lining together. So here we go. I have my wrong side showing on, and I'm gonna put the wrong side of my good fabric or self fabric, wrong side with the lining fabric. So then here at the bottom is the right side of the fabric, and here on the top is the right side of my lining. I'm gonna put it together, and this is gonna use these two together. So I'm gonna pin them together. And now I'm gonna attach or pin the back of my bottoms. So first what I do is that this bottom is kind of like a curve or a V, needs to be attached here at the under lining of the pants. But I'm gonna turn my right side together down like I did with my pants, and I'm gonna try to match this area. So now they are right side and right side together, and I'm gonna try to match it. I have to stretch that part in there to be able to fit. So first I'm gonna take my tails and match them. With a different pin so it does not move. Now I'm gonna go to the other corner and I'm gonna match them as well. Now these curvy sides have to match that middle one. So what I'm gonna do is I put a pin in my very middle of my front, and I'm gonna stretch the back so it matches in there. That will go right there on that pin. Like this, it will have to be stretched. But this is, like I said again, I have the front with the lining, and then the bottom ones is gonna be under, right side together as well. So it looks like this. Because now I'm gonna bring the lining from the back side and I'm gonna put it on top of the front one. So it looks like sort of a burrito method is what they call it. So that is gonna be on top, and it's on top of the front one. Now I take the other corner and match it. And now I take the same middle die stretch and I'm gonna match it in there. So once it is all stretched out like this and it's sewn, I'm gonna put my pins inside all the way through for you to see. So once I will do this in the sewing machine and go and sew it, this back will go with the back, leaving this area in here closed, and the front will be closed as well. So I'm gonna put it back. This back lining goes on top of the front and the back of the pants goes under, leaving the front inside like a sandwich. Now I'm going to go to the sewing machine, sew it, and you will see the result. Okay friends, I have already sewed with the serger the pieces that I had together. Then I'm gonna repeat it again. I had first the two fronts together, I put it down, I lay it down. Then I had the bottom attached to the front and I put the lining right here on top of it. We left the two front pieces inside the back and the lining like a sandwich, with the right sides together. And this is what I got. So now what I need to do, this is the end result. The result, leaving this piece attached, and then this is the front with this lining, the front with this lining, and the bottom, the back with this lining completely attached. Now what I need to do is put it again as I had it first, and I'm gonna sew the side pieces of my lining together and the sides of my bottoms together, and then I will be putting the elastic on it. Alright, so I have sewn the sides of the silk fabric and the sides of my lining. Now all I have to do is get the lining inside my pants. I do this and then immediately it falls in place. So all the inside of the undies of my bottoms are covered, the same with the bottoms with the lining, and the same in the inside of the underwear or the bottoms. Now all I have to do is put the elastic in place. Now goes, I have to attach the elastic. I have the pieces already cut. I have 2 pieces for the legs and 1 piece for the waist. So what I need to do is 3/8 of an inch, mark it, 1, 2, 3, just right there before, 3/8 of an inch, overlap it and attach it to the waist. So I will overlap this and it will go on the waist where I have to stretch a little bit to put it on. And I have to do the same in the leg. So I'm just gonna go and mark my 3/8 of an inch. And that way I can overlap it, pin it, and attach it. So now that I'm gonna attach the elastic band to my waist, what I like to do is to put a pin in the front, all the center front, all the one in the center back, and divide my elastic band in quarters. It means half, half, and the quarters at the waist, so it can have an equal distribution. So now I'm gonna attach this band will be all here in the middle of the mark at the side. I like to keep it there, 1 pin, so I'm gonna measure and pin the elastic because it has so many layers, 3 layers attached. And the same I do with the other, find my other mark and bring it to the other side and pin. But I make sure that I have all my sides together attached. So I'm gonna sew it in here while stretching so it will pick up all this area of the band. And I will be right back. This is my bottoms with the elastic band attached to the fabric. But now that I have my elastic band sewn, I did it with my serger machine. Now it's time for the fabric to be turned to the elastic to be turned to the inside. Now this is a very important tip that I'm gonna give you, and is you are gonna sew, when you're going in the sewing machine, you're gonna sew closer to this edge, not to this outside edge, but when you pin your fabric is like this, you are gonna close to the edge that it is to the side of the left of the fabric. If you sew close to this edge, your fabric is gonna be all wrinklish. And you can find a post in my blog www.julieharriscreation.com where you're gonna see a picture of my first mistake. So again, I'm gonna tell you, you are gonna sew you are gonna go to your sewing machine and you are gonna sew closer to this edge, and I use a 3.5 wide zigzag with a 2.5 long. I'm gonna leave this as it is right now because I need thread that matches this green and I don't have it, so I have to go to Hobby Lobby, and I'm gonna be passing to work in the top. So then again, I'm gonna be making the top A, this one in here, and I'm gonna start attaching the lining to all together and to put the elastic, and when it's time to turn it around, then I will be having the other matching thread. So let me continue. Hello guys, I have showed you before that I attach my elastic band to the waistband and to the leg opening with my serger machine, right? And the serger machine is very good because it doesn't make this happen to your elastic band and your fabric. What happened that I did, was my first try as a sewing a swimsuit, and you see how it is all wavy, the elastic band. And the reason was because I did some mistakes that nobody have put in the internet before. I'm gonna explain to you how to avoid that. If you have a sewing machine, you can attach your elastic band to the fabric with a serger, and then you are gonna fold it to have this beautiful zigzag stitch and do it with your sewing machine. If you don't have a serger or you prefer to do it all with your sewing machine, you can come with your elastic, you are gonna pin it around, then you are gonna sew your zigzag all the way close to the outer edge. See, I didn't sew close to this edge at all or in the middle. I do it in the outside of my elastic band. What is the settings? It is 3.5 zigzag and a 2 wide, 3.5 wide and 2.5 in length. So now I'm gonna turn my elastic band to the inside and I'm gonna sew close to this edge. I'm not gonna sew close to the outside or outer edge. I'm gonna close in here, sewing all the way inside the fabric. So first to the outer edge, and second, you will see I'm gonna show you how I do it. I'm gonna pull my fabric, I'm gonna close my seam about this little cutters at Walmart. I wasted my money, they are really not that good, but I'm keeping them. So here I go. I'm gonna put in my sewing machine, I already have my 3.5 zigzag in wide and 2.5 in length. I'm gonna get my needle, gonna see where, now I'm gonna try to get it to the outer edge. And I'm gonna slightly stretch a little bit and sew. I'm not stretching very much, just slightly. Apparently I didn't cut this very well. I'm finishing in here. Cut. And this is, you see, if I put my band in there, it's not waving at all. This is how cute it looks. Compare, let's compare in here how wavy this one is. You see all the waviness in here, in my underwear or in my bottoms, compared to this new one. Look at how different it is. It lays flat. The other one doesn't do that. You see? It does not lay flat at all. And that's why, because in here, first, I sew all the way close to this edge to close it. And in here, I did not. I sew closer to the outer edge than in here. And that is what have made this one a big mess. This is the way my bottoms look right now. I think they are precious. You can tell, you can see in there the inside. I have to trim my pieces, my little tails, but this is how it's going with the bottom. All right, friends, now I'm gonna start working on the top of my swimsuit, which, remember, is the piece A for the Vogue 91-92. And I have the piece number 1, that's the one on the front. The number 2, that is the band that goes in the back. And then the piece number 3, which are the straps. Right now, this swimsuit have gathering here on the top, so it can match with the back strap, like that. So it needs all this gathering. That's the reason the front part is just way longer than the back strap in here, all this long, because the one in the front goes and gathers. And then we are gonna attach the straps around here in the top, and then it's gonna have the elastic band all the way from the back to the top, at the bottom, and on the neckline. So I'm gonna begin by doing my gatherings at the front of the top. Okay, so now I have go and sewn 5/8 of an eighth in my top, in the side of my top, and I have come to the back and gathered it a little bit, so I can come and attach the back band facing right side together to the gather. So I begin here at the bottom. They are pretty even, so I can take it to the sewing machine. And then on the top, this corner that have like this angle. You see, it ends in an angle. This point is gonna be higher than this flat. And it's supposed to be like that. So I'm trying to match it in there. Here in the back will be more obvious. Matching the side seams and just a moment, MJ. And I'm matching here. And I'm gonna come and sew. To sew, I'm gonna go and sew these two together, and it should be like this. One side in the back will be this. The one in the other side will be the gatherings. And all the point is the front of the top to have these gathers, just for the breast area to have some space in here. That's all the purpose. So I'm gonna go to sew this in my sewing machine. Then I'm gonna be attaching my straps to the top. Let me go to the sewing machine and back. I have the top already together, the front of the top with the back of the top, and it is attached to the other. This is a very long top. I also have done my lining that is done in the same fabric. I had enough or plenty, and so I decided to do it the same color, because the straps, when they go around the body, it's nice to see the same color of fabric. So now what I'm gonna prepare are the straps that are gonna be sewn over here. These straps, for me to put them together, I need to I'm gonna put this apart. I have to cut 4 of the straps, 4 of them, and I'm gonna get them ready sewing 2 of them together, and I'm gonna sew it right side with the right sides, like that, and right side with right side. After they have been sewn all the way, leaving only like a tube, leaving the ends open, I have the elastic that I'm using. I found the transparent elastic. I didn't find more of the white elastic that I rather to use for the swimsuit, and then it's gonna be attached here to the strap. Now the elastic, it is only a little bit shorter than the strap, only a little bit, so I only have to stretch just a tiny little bit. It's not that much. So I'm gonna go put it together. After I have sewn elastic in both sides, I have to turn it the inside out and attach it over here. So let me do that in the sewing machine, and I will be showing you step by step, so it's easier to do this swimsuit. All right, I have my straps sewn. I post a picture, and now I'm gonna attach them to the front of my top, to the front of the top, like that. I'm gonna remove my pins, and the step next, after the tops have the straps attached, you see, I have turned it in like that, right side. Now what I'm gonna do is put the right side facing to me, and I'm gonna put my lining right side together with the right side. So that means this is my other lining, and I'm gonna see only the brown part of the top. See in here, I'm gonna enclose all this, the straps. I don't think this is very easy to see, but I'm gonna enclose my straps, everything. I'm gonna sew it together. I'm gonna move my strap out of the middle and pin it here, so I can sew all to the edges of my top. I'm gonna be pinning around because I need to sew all the way to these tails, and I don't want them to be moving around on me and end up having one longer than the other. We need to make sure they are gonna be fine, and then I'm gonna be sewing them. Then after I sew this together, I'm gonna come and put elastic band all the way at the outer edge of the neckline, and also here on the back to the top, and my last will be at the bottom of the top. And that will be the last thing for me to do. I'm gonna be matching my sides in the back. And I'm gonna be sewing all the way through, just making sure all this is gonna be together. That is what I am putting it together. I'm gonna go sew it after I pin it, and then I come back for you to see it. Okay guys, I still have my right sides put together, enclosing my straps. This is all for the back, and I have attached the elastic band all the way around the neckline in both sides of my top, going all the way to the strap. But now I need to put my elastic band all the way here around the neckline that goes all the way like the underarm and the back line. So I put my elastic band, my elastic, and I'm gonna go ahead and attach it. After I attach this, I'm gonna turn around the inside out for my swimsuit, and I'm gonna do the bottom a little different of what they say in the instructions, because I don't know how exactly, they don't have any instructions about how to turn it back for us to, after you have done the elastic band at the bottom. So let's see how I do it. All right friends, I have my top all the way still right sides together. I'm gonna have to close my straps here because they are still open, and I already attached the elastic band in the underarm and the back side of it. So the part that I'm missing is all the way at the bottom of the top. So I already put one of my straps inside. I'm gonna do the same with this one because I'm gonna be closing this bottom part. So what the instruction says is for me to leave an opening in here. Since I have not left it before, I just went and took away some of my stitches out of the lining. This is my lining, and now I'm gonna go and sew all the way at the bottom of the top, and then I'm gonna attach my elastic band. And after I attach it, I'm gonna turn all my top all the way through the hole in this part of the lining. And I'll be back to show you how it looks like. I have finished sewing the band at the bottom, and all the top have pretty much elastic through all the way to these long straps. So now I'm gonna be looking for, in here in my lining, I left this opening, or I made an opening so I can get my top inside out. Gonna begin. Here is the strap. This is what I try to do this off the camera because it takes a sweet time. Always. So now I have to get this strap, or the long straps that go around the body, out, and the other part of the top also, all this out. So I'm gonna work through it and then I'll be back in here to show you how I'm gonna finish putting the straps to the top. But so far here is coming. And while you're watching there, you might hear my son in the background watching cartoons. He's still on vacation. So I'm gonna keep turning this around and I'll be back to show you. Finally, this top was all got the inside out. This is how the top would have been. Here is my lining with a hole. Just turn it around to put the front in it. And now the last thing that I have ready to be finished is to sew my straps to the back. To sew it here to the back, it's supposed to go like this, and to close my finish. That is all that I have left to do. So I'm gonna choose where I want my straps. I'm gonna put it like 3 inches from the side. I'm gonna mark it right there. It will be the spot for my straps. I'm gonna stretch them around to make sure that I don't put my straps all twisted. And they will come right here. I feel like they would have told you that to sew this part, but then how would you have got it out? Here goes the other strap. Oopsie. Trying to making it all straight. There we go. And it will go right here. on the inside of my strap. So I'm gonna go sew it. I'm gonna close my lining, and then I'll show you my mannequin how is this swimsuit complete.